welcome to another episode of Life Chat, where we get to have amazing conversations and just chill together and just talk about life and Jesus Christ, who is the center of it all. So now today, guys, we are going to talk about something that most of us have probably been trying to do but have not been able to, and probably some of us have never thought it is just as important to incorporate in our lives. So today we are going to talk about healthy habits. For some of us, it might be probably making a drastic turn in our diets, and for some of us it might be deciding that, you know what, from now on I'm going to be waking up and doing those 30 minutes of jogging. So we want to just understand the intricacies of this, what goes on behind all of this, and what really drives us to making such decisions, and really how have we ourselves been able to just cultivate healthy habits in our lives. But before we get to that, let's first of all get to know our guests today. Right from that corner, tell us who you are and what you do.
Hi, my name is Mark Leon Kabale. I'm really blessed to be back on the show. I'm born again. I love Jesus as my personal savior. Yeah, I'm also a businessman and an administrator as well at Next Gen Fathers. So yeah, I am grateful. I'm grateful. Yeah, thanks.
Welcome today, Mark.
Hi, I'm Kisha Gitangu. I'm a natural hairstylist by profession, and I love Jesus Christ so much. And as always, it's always a pleasure being here. I enjoy it.
It's always a pleasure.
It's always a pleasure.
Thank you.
Hi. My name is Sami Kadenge. I'm born again. I do electrical engineering at Multimedia. And I'm a born-again believer. And as always, I'm happy to be here to just chat about life's questions.
Nice. Thank you so much, guys, for making time for us today. Now, right before we even get into all of this, all of you have mentioned that there's something you do, which means that you're busy most parts of the day. Say, let me ask you out of curiosity, Mark, how many hours in a day do you spend at the office or working?
Working is 24/7, but in terms of in the office, I think I spend about 7 to 8 hours.
7 to 8 hours in the office.
Yeah, but of course, part of our work is also field work, so that I could count that as, also office time. But now again, with the new Zoom things, now so Zoom meetings are there.
They can even carry forward into the night.
Up to even 10 p.m.
Because they're assuming that you're in the house,
exactly.
Right?
So it's like as if you're just in the office.
I get that.
Yeah.
Kisha, would you give us a rough estimate of how many hours a day you work?
I thank God that mine is flexible.
You have to be there in person.
Well, I have to be there in person, but I get to dictate what time I go to work and all that. And for me, a client won't last more than 3 hours at most. Now, unless I have a number of them in a day, then it will take an entire day.
So say a busy day for you looks like how many clients?
3 to 4.
3 to 4,
yes.
Which means that is probably 12 hours.
That's the entire day.
My goodness. KD?
I think for me, I'd say 6 to 8. This year has been a bit flexible because I had a period when I went for an attachment and then the rest I stayed at home. So the attachment was basically flexible. So maybe the client wanted something done and it took like 5 hours and I went home. Other times 8, other times even 10. But when I'm home, I try to just have it between 6 and 7 where I study or learn something online and improve my skills.
That is amazing. Now, I see we have a very diversified group over here and team. Mark, how many hours in a day do you just have time for yourself? Yeah. Let's exclude the sleep.
Let's exclude sleep.
How many hours do you have as time for just Mark alone?
No, to be honest, I think if some of those hours I have to create them. If I stick to the hours that job and every other thing, ministry, life, family, and all that, and friends, if I move. Just in a day, I have 1 hour for myself.
Just an hour for yourself?
Now, besides sleeping.
Then that would mean that it has to eat into the sleeping time, right?
So now I have to intentionally create it in all these other things I do. I have to intentionally withdraw myself.
To withdraw yourself.
And just, and you know, me time doesn't mean I have to be doing something. I just be.
Just be.
Just be.
We will get back to that. Yes, Keisha? How many hours for Keisha?
Wow, I can't even count, but not less than 2 to 3 hours.
Not less than 2 to 3
Yes,
hours.
not less than 2 to 3 hours.
I like your life.
I think for me, 1 to 2 hours.
1 to 2 hours.
Yeah, 1 to 2 hours.
So we are dealing with people who have got at least something figured out here, Mark. I think you and I need to work something out with our lives.
I know, right?
So, what do you get to do in that 1 hour that you just create time for Mark?
I mean, an hour is not as sufficient enough for me. As I think for me, I really love football. So if there's a match, I can relax and watch a game. And I think for me, a game can take off all the pressures of life and all the stress. And you know, after a game, you know, you don't just watch a game.
But you even get to complete the game, because I am aware that a game is 90 minutes.
That's
right?
why I said. That's why I said I have to intentionally create other hours for myself. So of course, the 1 hour is the time now with which. So either I cut on my sleep, or I actually just deliberately just push over some work to the next day, because I think I'll burn out, you know. So I do that. But also early mornings, on days when najisikia vizuri, I jog a bit, work out a bit, and I try to at least do 1 or 2 things.
Keep in shape.
Yeah, try also read. But reading I mostly do when I'm like moving or, you know, commuting or something. That's when I really find a lot of joy reading. Yeah.
Okay, Keisha.
Wow. So during my me time, I'll either have my quiet time at that time. I'll read. Okay, it depends with the. Most of the time, these 2 to 3 hours are not at 7 to 10. You'll find like maybe I had a free hour in the morning.
Some few hours
yes.
squeezed in.
Yes, in between
in
the day. Yeah. So if it's in the morning, I'll have my quiet time. If it's in the evening, now this is me personally. I'll either read or watch videos on YouTube. I like learning things, so I'll watch documentaries on YouTube. I'll just have quiet time to reflect, just think about my life, do some introspection.
To be honest, right now I'm feeling very condemned, but it's okay.
Just think things out, or plan my month, plan the week, journal, all those things.
I know she actually uses her time for a lot of quality stuff.
Serious things.
You will get to hear. You will get to hear what I do in my quiet time.
I can't wait.
I think for me it's more or less similar, but a bit of Mark's also, because I love football. I think for men we can say me time has a lot of sort of nothing tasks. Tasks are they just relax us. So like football is one of them, or watching videos on YouTube. So that's, for me, that's in the evening. In the morning is when I try to get a bit intentional. I maybe open my Bible and read a certain psalm, meditate on it, set myself for the day. That's like 30 minutes. I like riding my bike also in the morning.
Wow, I always wanted to own one, but I grew up.
Yeah, so I love doing a bit of creative activities, physical activities that just, you know, put me in the mindset to maybe go to work. But some days I just like sitting down and listening to music and, just chilling.
Sitting down and listening to me, listening to you guys, I feel like you do a lot of quality stuff during your quiet time. This is Hope's typical resting time. If it's Hope enjoying her resting time, that's Hope watching Asian drama. So yes, I am the type of girl that watches things while reading subtitles. So to be honest, it's not really as resting and relaxing as it should be, because my brain is still trying to race with what they are saying and, you know, what is written there. But because I like to watch films, that have an Asian vibe, especially the historical drama kind of. because I'm very interested in Asian culture, right? So when I am watching, I want to also hear them speaking, because at some point I attempted to study Chinese and I really found it so interesting. But then with the wave of COVID, I got a bit lazy, but that is something I've been promising myself to get back to, right? Which brings me to the next thing. What are some of the things that you are doing that you felt would be adding value to you, that were healthy habits for you, that you started doing at some point, but then you dropped them, either because life gets in the way, or because you get busy, or because you get tired or something? What are some of these things that you started doing but left them off halfway, and why is that?
Well, I think I'll go first, because it's a struggle for me. I think working out has been the struggle I've had for a long time. Long time. You know how you're motivated one week, one time. You're like, hey, this is the thing, you know. Yeah, I mean, and it was from today. It was just like 3 days since I did like my last workout. So I was feeling so bad about it, but I'm not feeling motivated.
You're not feeling motivated?
Yeah, I'm not feeling motivated to actually do it. But to be honest, it's just one of those things. I think especially during the lockdown period, I really I was like, I'm working out. You know, of course, it was a challenge at first, but you know, the body had to get used. I had to force it to actually get used. That's number one. Number two for me was, I think, just reading. Leave alone, there's reading the Bible, which I do. And you see, for me, I find learning more about God's word through like journeying through like a study. You know, why I answer a question, it's reflective and all that. So for me, that's normally how I do like my study of the Bible. But reading just generally has never been my thing since I was as young. So I was like, you know what?
Because to be honest, you come from a background of reading and studying.
Yes,
all of us come. You know, we need to study and all that.
Yes.
Then again, you want to tell me that I should be reading for my free time. Doesn't really make sense.
Exactly, you know. So I used to find people who read a lot very weird, you know. And but I think I grew into the culture, because again, I think someone told me something very challenging a number of years ago, that you know, a good leader is a good reader. I was like, wait, what? So I'm not a good leader. It challenged my leadership. So and as men, we're very competitive. And once a challenge like that comes, like, what do you mean I'm not a good leader? So I started pushing myself to read and read and read. But it's been like an on and off thing. For me, when I read, I try as much as possible to read like Kabsa, so that season will help me sustain me through the season. That
the other season, sadly, when someone asks me,
yes,
I have read.
Exactly. But yeah, those two have struggled a bit with. But I mean, for me, I think I've seen more of the benefits even in like working out or something. Yeah. So yeah.
Okay. Keisha.
Working out. I totally understand.
You're working out your salvation.
Yes. That's the only thing that we're working out. So, funny enough, the thought of working out makes me happy. But to get me there to do it,
no,
it's a whole
impossible.
I don't usually understand why it's such a struggle yet. I really enjoy the thought of it. I really enjoy watching videos of people working out, you know. But I had started working out last year, and I was doing pretty well. Oh my God, I was surprised. I was like,
Goals.
Keisha, is that you? You know, I was my own goals. I was running, doing, 8 kilometers, you know. But the only reason why I was doing that is because I had someone to run with. I was staying with a friend of mine. I had motivation. Now when I went back home, there's no one who runs at home.
So why should you bother getting up early in the morning to run?
Can't. We finished running last year. We finished running last year, but it's something I'd want to get back to, you know, for the sake of health benefits.
For the sake of health benefits.
Yes.
And I actually think that there's a huge misconception about working out, especially. Let me say it from my perspective. For the longest while, I actually thought that working out was meant for people who felt that they wanted to lose weight. So for someone who's as lean and as small as I am and very petite, I was thinking, what do I even have to? In fact, I was convincing myself that if In fact, I do get to work out. I will shed so much weight, which I'm so much in need of, that I will now become an invalid, you know? And looking back, I actually think I was using the wrong method to convince myself not to work out. Well, in fact, you find that there's so many health benefits for working out, not just for losing weight, but also for muscle mass, and a lot of that working out body parts so that they can be optimal function.
Immunity.
Yeah, immunity
blood
also.
flow.
So I really like that, and it's something that we should all work towards, right? Yes, Katie.
I think we are almost the same with Mark. Working out, reading. But you know, thank God, the working out part, I tried to come up with something really simple, so that I don't shock myself. Because if you say I'll start with 10 kilometers, then you get discouraged.
You get discouraged.
Yeah. So what I do is I have an app that has very simple stretches that just get me going during the day. For reading, I'm still working on it because my course requires me to do a lot of extensive reading. So I need to practice the skill of concentrating, and it's that one thing I can say I'm not there yet, but I've started.
But you've started.
I try and do a bit of reading for 30 minutes extra out of my work, so that it aids when I do come back to my work.
When you get back to your work. Well, these are some of the examples of our journeys towards cultivating healthy habits and lifestyles. Well, do not go too far. When we get back, we get to understand more about some of the healthy habits that we can cultivate to live a better and fulfilling life. Don't go too far.